We continue learning Dirshu Mishnah Brura, Hilchais Zimun Siman Kuf Sadi Gimel. We pick it up from Sif Hey. Says the Machaber Shleisha Shebo Mishleisha Chabura Shel Shleisha. Three people that come from three groups. Shel Shleisha of three people. Shleisha b'nei Adam of three. Shel Shleisha b'nei Adam. Each group has three people. V'nis Chabru Elu HaShleisha. So we have three groups of three that one separates, and now we have a new group of three. If they already were mizamein, and this guy came off of a group that already did a zimun, keep going. For example, shevsiku kol echad lishnayim. Shevsiku kol echad lishnayim ad shamru azan. That each one broke up into two until he said azan. Shavini chol nizami. On a very classical question that once one answers to a zimun, is he allowed to be part of another zimun? Is he allowed to now make a new zimun? Says the Machaber, no. If one answered and then broke off of that zimun, and now there were a new group of three, even though they ate and they finished their suda together, they do not make a new zimun. However, continues the Machaber, if they did not participate in a zimun originally, then they have a new chiyuv. Even though they did not eat together, if they originally had a chiyuv, says the Machaber, now that they get together, the chiyuv manifests itself on them, and then they have to be mizamin even without eating. So a chiddush on both ends. Says the Mishnah Brura Sivkatan Chav Ches Kol Echad Lishnayim. Ayin in the Bir Halacha. Says the Mishnah Brura. Go look in the Bir Halacha. That what afilu. No, that's the end of the Mishnah Brura. 1 second. Do we miss anything over here? No. Ayin in the Bir Halacha. Mishnah Brura tells us to go look in the Bir Halacha. And we continue. Says Mishnah Brura Sivkatan Lamid. Afilu achlu acher kach, even though they eat afterwards. Again, they were part of an original zimun. Now they get together. Says the Mishnah Brura, Kvar parach zimun meinayu. The original zimun, parach, has flown away. Al yedei, why? Shezimnu alei mikodim. They already were part of a zimun. Umikol makam berchas hamazon chem levarich betchilas berchas hazon. They have to bench. But now, when they cut together, if they did not do a zimun, then they have a chiyuv now. V'inu rishayim lechalik, says Mishmur Sivkat Lamed Aleph. Kivin shenoadu ata yachtav v'chol echad ba mechabur shekvar neschayiv sham zimun. Since originally they had a chiyuv and now they get together, they can't break up. V'aft in his barbi sevav ba'aga to aser li pari mechabur shal shleisha. Even though we learned in Sivav, one is not allowed to separate from a group of three. Ask the Mishnah Brura, I don't understand. They originally had a chiyuv. How do they leave? Meaning, how did you get involved in this situation? Yesh loymar. So explains the Mishnah Brura, how did you get here? The original group disbanded. Inami. I have some one of the guys had to run to a business meeting. One of the guys had a family emergency. So he left. All of a sudden, okay, you don't have your Zimun anymore. Now different people get together. Now your original Zimun re-manifests itself. And you have to bench together. Then they make a new zimun yizamnu bifnei atzman. Continues Mr. Burris, and even if they don't eat in their new group, Vikasha asked the Mishnah Brura, you have to bench in the place you ate. So if you didn't bench in this place, what's going on? You have to go back to the original place. Explains the Mishnah Brura, says Mishnah Brura, some explain that it was a shogig that they left the original place. And in the case of a mistake, you don't have to go back. Ubinyaninu nami bas as well. Kim the kan yoch lezami. Uksheyachzer l'shem yivarech b'yechidi. You can make a zimun here and go back and bench b'yechidos. Kishas adchak. Dami. V'hoidi yishlam adachi kamer. V'afilu achle yachid even they didn't eat together. Koloimar. Elakol echad achal b'fnei atzmai shaloi kavu. They don't chayim on the zimun. Not chayiv. Since there originally was the chiyav, therefore the chiyav again re-manifests itself over here. Let's go to the Dirshu for a moment. Dirshu note number 28 discusses this Zimun that has flown away because you already were part of a Zimun. Says the Dirshu, however, if originally you ate veggies and you were a part to answer with them, and then you wash your hands and you eat bread and you have a meal, says the Kaf HaChaim, Avada, you have a new Zimun, because this is a new Kviyas. Meaning, let's look at 29, and then we'll explain. The Dirshu number 29, this is I don't want to say a real klutz, but what happened? You were part of a Zimun, and you forgot it was Rosh Chodesh, and you forgot Yalvi Yavai. Says and it's Shabbos, so you got to go back. We already lost your zimun, so you just have to go back and repeat benching. But is stopping in let's say the first time you forgot to make a zimun, and now you have to bench again. So maybe now you can make a new zimun because you're ready when I use your zimun. Interesting cases. But we see very clearly that if one was originally part of a proper zimun, you're sitting around the Suda, a regular Shabbos meal, and one guy has to go, so he says, can I bench? And everyone around the table wants to be Yitzlaf Nimi Shur Sadin, so they answer him. Gavaldik, he leaves. The Suda continues, and you eat, maybe you eat bread, and maybe you finish, and you have dessert. And they're like, wait, we're benching. When we bench, we make a new zimun? No. Kevar, Paracha, Zimun, Meinayu. The one case that the Dirshu of here is bringing for the Kaf HaChaim is that if you were involved in a Zimun for a different reason, let's say you showed up to the meal and they're quickly benching. So you're just hanging out there, you had a Hadama, you had a vegetable, they had a Zimun and you answered. And then after it's like, you know what, I'm hungry, and you sit down and you wash, you have a whole meal, then of course there is a new Zimun. Says Dirshu number 30, a kasha from the Chazoin Ish. Hooray! We're going to learn in Siman Kufsadihei, each one has their own Zimun. So to mashma, even if they're at some level together at the time of benching, then they would have a Zimun. And then they cannot have a tziruf together. So why by us, when they originally ate completely separately, and now they come together, why all of a sudden do they make a Zimun together? Says the Chazayin Ish. A fundamental difference, because in our case there was a chiyav zimun, and there's no afsharut lezamin. It's over whether the group disbanded, whether one guy left, whatever the reason is. But each person has that chiyav zimun on themselves. Now they could get together and create that zimun. Let's look at Dirshu note number 31 in scenarios that one left a zimun. Come on, shehevi dinzeh la'alacha b'shem ha'achrayim. And the Mishnah Berurah over there causes Ebelasha an Efshar Diyish Lahakel, meaning the Dirshu here is pointing out Mishnah Berurah sounded very forgiving that if one left, B'shas Adchak, if one left because of Hefsid Mamain, but earlier the Mishnah Berurah just said that's not, it's only an Efshar Diyish Lahakel, so we have to know what level of someone could rely upon it. It could be we have a raya that over here, which is a little bit shalebim kaimai. The Mishnah Berurah just says one could be mekel. Sometimes that is a powerful raya. If they eat more together, they are mitzaref. Says the Chazayin Ish. To be all like the rush that Kviyas B'Seif Suda creates a chi of Zimun. Okay, and we'll pick it up Mirz Hashem from Sif Vav in the next year. Siyata Lishmai.